Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Clues, Cues and Reviews, and today we're looking at chapter 60 of Black Clover. Now, in all honesty, the chapter came out pretty early from a scanlation point of view, as did a lot of chapters, bearing in mind bank holidays and Golden Week and everything else. So surprisingly, it came out pretty early, which is always a positive. But I had to keep my schedule, even though I'm kind of out with some of them, which you'll see because these are all getting uploaded at the same time. But Black Clover, as always, will be on a Tuesday or Monday, depending if we've got the time. Anyway, it's a relatively simple chapter, so without further ado, let's get into the review. In a nutshell, the old quack himself wants a 9v9 battle. He sets them out on their way. All the boys get to play, all the females get to play. Basically all the crew other than Yami himself. Yami doesn't get to go because he'll basically wipe the floor with them. The reason why this is made obvious is because we're told later on in the chapter that they're middle tier. With him being a captain, he should at least be, towards the top. So, what effectively happens is everyone gets pitted against someone. It's kind of like a survival / battle royale, where I think you have an hour, I believe it is, and those with the most left standing win. There's 9. So important to bear in mind, by the end of this chapter, 4 have been defeated from the bad guys. And basically, Gouch, Aster, Magnus Wing, and Luke Volti just wipe them out. Now this is important. A lot of this, the whole underestimating thing, although it's seen as kind of like a troll situation, it's important because he was under the impression, the old quack was under the impression that because these characters are not with a registered ranking, they're weak. That is honestly not the case. And I think in a way this is foreshadow that you basically underestimate your enemy, and you're in trouble. Because on the flip side, let's just say over time the story develops, and then one of these characters have a high rank and they face some guy with a no rank. The flip side could happen to them where they underestimate their enemy and they pay for it. So with that being said, I think it's important to kind of highlight that. And of course, the reason why they've not got ranking isn't because they're weak. It's purely because they just make meals of everything. They make muck of everything. They're always getting black starved and being destructive. Kind of like how Fairy Tail are with Natsu's destruction and the reputation they have. So I think there is those parallels there, which I really like. And it's one of those things where time will tell. A successful command or mission that they've carried out for the king of high importance will boost up their rankings. And let's be honest, all the things that Aster's doing is only going to improve the rankings for the guild as an overall. Now they're considered the weakest based on their rankings and the merits. Now, does this mean that they're the weakest? Absolutely not. Does this mean they're the strongest? Absolutely not. I honestly think it's going to be a case where they're not necessarily, in certain situations against certain characters they're going to be strong, and in certain characters they're going to be weak. All about compatibility of magic. And there's going to be situations like when they go against potentially the Golden Dawn and these type of teams, that there's going to be certain characters that even though they're higher ranked they'll do well against, and certain characters they won't. And like Yami always says, you need to go past your limits now. And it is a lot about that. It's interesting to bear in mind from a majority point of view, there's still 5 battles to go. And I'm guessing this is what they're going to potentially drag out in the next chapter. The girls to go, I think Finral's left to go. Finral, Charmy, Noella. I can't remember who the last person is. It's that lady, the witch lady who got kicked out from her family for whatever reason. They're left basically. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen next. Not a lot to go off, but I like the idea that it teaches you lessons in these chapters. And I'm hoping we don't see the flip side where enemies underestimate because of their ranking. Ultimately, the measuring stick is not really the best for reference. It's kind of like in reality when we talk about health, we talk about the body mass index, and it's a very rigid structure in meant to tell you, oh, you're obese, you're skinny, you're fat, but it doesn't take into consideration muscle. It's kind of a flawed system, and I guess that's how the ranking system works. Although it kind of rewards you as a merit, it's a motivator to improve. At the same time, it's rigid and it doesn't really show the full picture. So there could be guys out there that's super powerful, they just don't get the rankings, so they want to go under the radar. If you take this and translate this to another manga, you could kind of see that as a Blackbeard situation, where Blackbeard stayed under the Whitebeard banner, made himself virtually invisible, had no bounty, they had no idea of his potential, and he sprung up his plan into his thing. Quite possible something like that could happen in this manga. We will have to wait and see. We have seen people that are meant to be dead returning. For example, Hannah, I think her name, Fana, her name was. So potentially other people from that area could come as well. We'll have to wait and see. That's all for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the chapter. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And I'll see you next time.